we begin with the elections in South Africa, where the ruling ANC party has lost its majority for the first time since apartheid ended 30 years ago. With nearly all ballots counted, the ANC has received 40% of votes. That's a drop of around 17% since the last election. They will now need coalition partners to form a government. South Africa's biggest opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, has received around 21% of the votes. The MK party, founded just months ago by former President Jacob Zuma, came in third. For more, let's now speak to DW correspondent Dianne Hawker in Johannesburg, and she happens to be at the National Results Center. Dianne, a massive dip for the ANC. What's led to this erosion?
Well, there's quite a complicated story behind that erosion, a story that takes a look at South Africa's last 30 years and whether South Africans feel that the ANC has done enough to change their circumstances. And the simple answer from these results is that voters in South Africa feel that the economic conditions, the social conditions and the living conditions simply have not changed enough under the ANC government to justify them having an outright majority going forward. A lot of people that we've spoken to in the lead up to this election have told us about their personal circumstances and how those personal circumstances are their motivation for voting in this way. They've said that they are very unhappy with the job situation. As you know, South Africa is also a very unequal society, and a lot of people are living below the poverty line here. The ANC for many years has said that it will create better living conditions for people across the country. But people are simply not seeing that in their lived experiences. And they've, as a result, taken their votes to other parties who have promised to change those conditions for them. Now, these other parties are the very same parties that the ANC will have to consider whether they can get into coalition talks with going forward if they want to still retain some sort of a government in this country. They do have 40% of the vote, but they need to have a government with over 50%, basically 50 plus 1. And that would mean that they would either need to partner with other smaller parties, or they would need to join up with some of the larger opposition parties, many of which have been very vocal against the ANC government. So it is going to be a tough few days trying for all these political parties to figure out, what the situation will be going forward. Ultimately, this is the voice of voters that has spoken. We've heard from different observers throughout this election period, and they've said that it's clear that, the voice of voters is what we're seeing in these results, just based on the cues and the determination of South Africans to make sure that they cast their vote. Michael.
That's a DW correspondent Dianne Hawker in Johannesburg. Thank you.